And you also, Tom, claim that today's organizations are actually unfit to manage data.
Yeah.
Why is so?
Well, so if you think about the way we create value from data as things move horizontally across the organization, right? So again, marketing generates leads, leads get turned into sales, sales get turned into orders, orders get turned into money and satisfied customers and so on, right? I mean, it takes a sequence of things, using data to create to advance the interest of the organization. Now, but the bottom line is we manage this way. We manage up and down, and data create value horizontally. And so, not to be overly technical, but management and creation of value are misaligned, right? And it is really, I mean, something completely orthogonal to one another in some respects. And so that's sort of like, reason number one, organizations are unfit for data. And the second is so many people view the data problem, as a tech problem. And,
Mm.
so, well, the data's in the computer, therefore we get to go blame the IT guys, kind of thing. Um, but they're very, very different kinds of assets. And if you assign data to IT, you don't get data managed properly, and you don't get the tech managed properly. And yet, I feel like I've been fighting this battle for, I don't know, 20 years. And sort of everybody who thinks about it, this isn't one where you can think about it for 30 seconds. You have to think about it for 5 minutes. And then you go, oh, yeah, we got to get data out of tech. But still too many fall into that trap. Those are the two biggest reasons that organizations are unfit for data.
Well, and I remember also a third one, that was really around senior leadership, and not involving senior leadership enough.
Senior
Um,
leadership's been on the sidelines, haven't they?
yes, yeah. And how and in my day-to-day work, I see data quality is interesting to senior leadership when they perceive it, when they have the luck to have a problem with data. They look a report and it's simply not what they would expect, or they are disappointed after a while because they get to know that something is inconsistent or not right. Or there is a product, that is customer facing, that is an AI that is using data and it's just not performing the way we would like to, and the senior leaders then is basically told that this is due to the data quality. I think this is where those are the moments almost of truth that I saw when when senior leaders wake up and it becomes visible to them. And isn't that one of the problems, that very often we hide that away from senior leaders?
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on here. I mean, so first of all, I mean, senior leaders weren't born senior leaders, right? They came up through the organization, and so most of them experienced the problem as an individual contributor, and then as a mid-level manager, and so on. But I mean, I think you're certainly right. So it's like reports that are going to go to the board, right? There's a whole army of people who are trying to make sure that we got the obvious errors out of those, and so really acting to camouflage things. I think that there's also a tendency, if you see a problem one time and then you see it again 2 weeks later and 2 weeks after that and 2 days later, but you think of it as a series of one-offs and not as sort of a systemic kind of thing that is going on. And so personally, I mean, like, the senior leaders, I talk to, if you ask them if they have a data quality problem, the answer is always no. And then if you ask them, well, do you trust your reports you see? Yeah, then, you can usually get a 30-minute lecture on how untrustworthy the reports are, kind of thing. And so the gap is not that large, but then the gap to that they might bear some responsibility for doing something about it. I don't feel that on a consistent basis we've tackled that at all.
Well, and you said that data quality should be the number one priority for almost any company. Don't you think they should have something more important in mind, like revenues of the customers? Why should data quality be on their mind?
Well, so data quality, look, I mentioned earlier that a third of people's time is wasted on data quality. Okay. And, and those who've attacked it properly and made improvements, they save 3/4 of the cost, right? So if 30% you can save 3/4 of that, right? That's 22% of your cost right there, right? And if you have opportunities that, and by the way, these are simple, right? So we're not talking about doing anything complex, requiring great, investment or anything like that. We're talking about things that have proven themselves time and time again in lots of organizations. So to just wrap this up, I do think companies ought to pursue their biggest opportunities, and the data quality one, as I just described it, is an enormous opportunity. No special investment required. If you've got bigger opportunities, then by all means, go after those. If some regulator is threatening to, cancel your license, then by all means, solve that kind of thing. But if some competitor is eating away at your market share, right, 10% year on year, yeah, that's a big issue. But for most companies, they just don't have too many, so we can reduce operational costs, and by the way, start making better decisions and so forth than data quality.
Boric Data Masterclass, where great data journeys begin.